Welcome back to the Tiger Hanger. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news in review for June 29th, 2025. Yes, it's still June. It's not July. Fireworks going off everywhere like it's July 4th or something, and it's not July anything, but I look forward to the 4th of July. I actually had a great Juneteenth. My son had a great Juneteenth. He's just got a job, third day, and he got time and a half on 8 hours. But we got a lot of Transformers news in here. Really a lot of news for Transformers, but there's always a lot of Transformers news and updates on projects and stuff. We do have some Megaman from Jada Toys, and I'm just gonna repeat insights I've heard over this past week about these, which, I mean, it's all good in the world of Megaman. And then we've got some stuff going on with loyal subjects. It's not all M.A.S.K, but guess what, we have some M.A.S.K. And then there's going to be some G.I. Joe June. I'll tell you what I know, what I have seen. I don't know what that cat's about, but they're going to be talking about it. Dropped the ball in June, didn't they? And then we've got 6-inch Ben Cooper style figures, the Halloween costume figures. More of those and more of funny things to say about them. And then Street Fighter and another weird Street Fighter thing. I don't even know if anybody's into all that, but we'll be talking about this. And what else we got going on over here? Oh yeah, Star Wars and more coming up. All right, starting out at Shozi Store, we do have this up for pre-order, and this is the Magic Square MS-06 Tornado Vortex. As you saw with the first picture, this combiner, there's another combiner we're going to be completing. We're talking about that here. And this is $140 at Shozi Store if you're into getting this and doing this combiner, but we'll see. I'll show you why, because it comes with the chest piece of the combiner. It's kind of why the price is so high on that one. But there's more information, and I do have, if you hold on, the height of it, and we'll talk about that in one of these Masterpiece stories. Combined height. All right, we got M.A.K. Pro Series Soundwave pre-assembled model kit with Ravage. I pre-ordered mine. You can pre-order it at Shozi Store. We don't have the price. These usually run $60, and so you're in on that $60. Die-cast, paint, got a little bit of weathering, a little more mature look, and maybe we'll get a tune one later. I don't buy hardly anything that's associated kind of with these live-action movies. I am buying this, though. I'm in on this, and what sold me was the Ravage. And we got a price on Bandit at Shozi. Shozi's usually the lowest price, still is, but not by a whole lot. It's $369. Now I already put my $40 down on it, so that's going to come off. So for me, it's going to be like, what? $370 minus 40 is $330. So $330 is what's going to cost me out the door on this thing to finish this up. And with that, if you go and buy one of these at Shozi, remember TH Support your reviewer code on the main page. All right, so we got some information about this Vortex, about this combiner, and this finishes it. So that's why it's kind of a big deal. People are excited about it. There's a lot of questions. Some questions got answered about it. But with this, I assume the last release, the next release, we're going to get the waist. What a waste. No waste at all there. And it looks pretty good. I think it looks good in bot mode, looks good in alt mode. It's got to look good in combined mode. That's why we got the combined mode picture. So we do have to shout out Maxagon on Baidu. That's the... Anyway, this is a prototype test shot, not quite there yet shot of this, and it's getting really close. Really close. So, pretty excited to get this finished. Now, a question that was answered was, how tall is it in combined mode? And so with that, it is roughly 20.5 inches. That's kind of where it stands from the head up to the head. 60 centimeters to the cannons. So that's... I really count how tall a combiner is up to the head. Because if you have all of them standing around, they should be about eye level. But, you know, then we think Minotaur maybe is a little shorter. Bruticus is a little bit bigger. Devastator's probably the biggest, aside from Predaking. I mean, it just depends on how you look at it. I mean, I know Sumbo's a little bit off, in my opinion. But also, I'm pretty sure I can clean up that left arm a little bit more. Now, you know, if this week is going to be very Takara heavy, most of it's rumors, some of it's rumors, but MPG 19, their Soundwave is going to get a reissue with a redeco, and it's going to look different, and yet it's still going to look the same. That's what people are saying out there. Nobody really knows. I mean, rumors are rumors. Nobody knows what's really going to be happening. Hopefully, in editing, I put the English translation up here, but it's an MP13/MP13B mold recoat, so 2 different colors coming our way. But I'm not interested in either one of these. I've got it. I mean, I don't need it. I don't need a recolor of it. And so with that, it seems like the only true Masterpiece stuff is just reissues of old Masterpiece Takara's doing these days. We do have in-hand pictures of the next missing link. We're getting the Sunstreaker and then the Cordon, but here we go looking at some boxed packaging here. I think they look pretty good, and I wish we had U.S. packaging. It would make it a little bit better for me, but I do like the comparison shots to the original figure. So how close from the front, it looks extremely close, and even to the point where you have that little connector piece in the back of the feet. But we're going to see the back of this here in a little bit, but it looks good. I think they've done a pretty good job with this, and this is one of the figures that I would like to see this missing link with, and we're hearing rumors of Ironhide and Ratchet. I mean, I want to see the Carbots done. I mean, there's a lot more to that. Then we've got the back here. Now, looking at that kind of peg in the middle, on the right's the vintage one, on the left is the missing link one. If you look at that, you can see how it can separate. It's 2 separate pieces that separate and move away, plus a ton of articulation. So you're going to be able to get a lot of articulation with this, but it's not going to sacrifice stability, but you're going to be able to use it in different poses. This is really pretty good. It's kind of like Motu Origins for Transformers in a way, but to me, I feel like it's a little more exciting than that. And then here's a nice group shot to kind of see what's going on with what we've seen, and why they got to do the yellow prime with the pelvic thrust is beyond me. I didn't even realize it has the ability to pelvic thrust now. And I like this picture here. This one kind of shows next to a Prowl, a G1 Prowl, and what are they going to do with G1 Prowl? That's kind of in my mind, like, what are they going to do with G1 Prowl? And probably a lot. I mean, it's going to be way better. It'll be very interesting to see what they do with the G1 Carbots, and they could do it, and it'll be way better, but yet still feel like the same. So back by popular demand, they are reissuing Missing Link. I thought they already reissued it, because it went out of stock, was out of stock for like a month, went back in stock at Show Z, and then went back out of stock again. And then now here it says 7/3 of 2025, I guess, is when it's going to be up for pre-order. I don't know. But I was looking, and I think they say this is the one with the trailer. So I don't believe this is the cartoon one, which I think more people want the cartoon one because they passed on it the first time. They're like, oh, we don't need it. Now, after thinking about it, they'd like to have it. And the cartoon one's the one that I don't think they're reissuing that one. But then again, I don't know, because this one says the toy accurate version with trailer. Why would they not rerun both? Now we got pictures of their MPG, supposed to be Masterpiece, but not really. But MPG 14S, God Genrai in hand. This is the one with the back metal, and it looks pretty good. It looks way better than what I remember the vintage G1 looking like. And to me, I think this is where this is going, is an upgrade of the vintage in a way. And yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like how they're going with it. And this sucker's going to be kind of big. So, I mean, you're going to add that stuff on to that. Is that kind of how it's going to work? But I still don't 100%. I need to watch a review of this. I don't know 100% of how it's going to work. How's it all going to go together? Because I never handled the vintage one. I had a sealed vintage one, and I sold it because, I mean, it was going for a lot of money. But you wouldn't open a sealed one. So that's the thing that I'm curious. I'm looking forward to this. I haven't pre-ordered. Here's a side view of it, and I think that it looks quite a bit kibbly. It kind of looks like a mess from the side, but I mean, how else are you going to make this thing? It is what it is, but it looks way better from the front. That's all I gotta say. Way better from the front. All right, so we've got Takara Tomy Synergenics series Macross 7 Transformers Bhaskara Convoy crossover. And so this is Transformers Teams Up Macross 7 anime from 1994 to bring you this. And this is the teaser pick, or new promotional image. That's all they gave us. This is all that's out. But these kinds of things, there is definitely a market for this. But I'm not it. So I'm happy for anyone that enjoys it, but I probably won't be picking up or reviewing it at all. So a lot of people might be saying, where's the rest of the Masterpiece news? And I think it's all being held for TFCon. I mean, I think that before we've been seeing leaks, and it's usually like 3 days before TFCon. Haven't seen any TFCon leaks, so we'll find out. It's not like here in a few weeks or something like that, but this is Galaxy Toy, and let me get the information up on this. And it is Mini Statue 08 Destroyer. It's not a statue, it's posable. It's not a statue. But I don't think, I'm not sure if it transforms. I mean, it's got everything you need for it to transform, so it should transform. So, but I don't know why they call it Mini Statue. That's weird. Here's the back, and you can see the hardware. Yeah, it definitely needs this. Definitely going to have some transformation going on here into it. It's tiny, though. It's just Sub-Legends, so it's not Legends. It's Sub-Legends. Hopefully it's not Sub-Par. They're making other things, too, so I'm not going to go too deep into all of that, but I don't think people really want to collect 8 different scales, but some people love this stuff. This is cool. I might pick a couple up, just check them out, because, I mean, it's not like they're making just a Prime and running away, but, of course, they're doing Skywarp, and he looks pretty good, and then, well, I guess I could just bring it in with Skywarp, and they're gonna just obviously go into Coneheads. Makes sense, right? So here's Dirge with them. There's no color for the Dirge yet, and these are very rough. I mean, you can tell by well, just the Skywarp that it's rough, but it's gonna look a lot better when they're closer to done. In fact, the Dirge almost looks better than the Skywarp, but this is just kind of some rough paint samples and for the Skywarp. And curious though, like how these would scale with a Legends. That'd be probably way too small. QQT update with their Predaking, and these are closer to the finished colors, I believe, but that's just my belief. I don't know 100% for sure. Again, these are smaller than Legends, and combined it's going to be 9 inches or so, which is about the same size. I believe it's 9 inches combined, about the same size as most of these other combiners, maybe a little short, but it'll work for my display. Again, that's what I say, so I'm in on these. And it's hopefully they're not too expensive. I don't know the price on them just yet. All right, so some pre-orders went up, and let me just tell you this. Studio Series 25, Wave 3, official images, info, links, and pre-orders. And BBTS crashed for over an hour. It was over an hour. I've never seen BBTS crash before. And you could say, well, it was just a temporary glitch. There's too much of a coincidence from the time the emails went out from BBTS that this stuff's up for pre-order. Megatron and Grimlock. Those were the pages that were just jammed. And I don't even know if I pre-ordered a Mixmaster or anything, but some of the other stuff was already up for pre-order, and I already had it before this went up. So it was just that. And the other thing I'm hearing is that Megatron and Grimlock are going to be in leader class, and they're going to be wave mates. They're going to be one of each per case, and so they're paired together. I do believe Megatron is going to outsell Grimlock, because a lot of people already have Grimlock. I mean, really, the price on it's hyper-inflated because there's some people that need it, but once the reissue comes, the price is going to fall way down, and he's probably even going to go on clearance in some places, but for the most part, he's still going to be in relatively high demand. But this is the first release of this highly sought-after Megatron. I wanted to get a Grimlock for my son and get me a Megatron, and he's happy with his New Age, oddly enough. So I did watch the live stream. I usually don't, but this week I was curious. Everyone was talking about the explanation for why they can't make Megatron a gun, and they just said legal reasons, toy reasons. I mean, that's not really much of an explanation. It just is what it is. At least they addressed it. But this showed Megatron, Mixmaster, Scavenger, Grimlock, Thundercracker, Skywarp, and Deluxe Concept Widow. Here is Transformers 1, Alita 1, and I think it looks kind of cool. Looks pretty good. I mean, the Fembots are always welcome. That's something that's fun. People like. Alt mode, probably not my favorite, but it is what it is. I still don't really like the super long legs on Transformer 1 designs. And this is the figure they're calling Studio Series Widow. And I don't really know a whole lot about that, but it is what it is. Not a whole lot of new stuff that they showed at this event. And this prototype figure that kind of gave me the Windblade vibes. I don't remember the name. I remember watching it. Maybe I should have wrote it down. But a couple of prototype things they got in the works that they're showing off. Not up for pre-order just yet or anything like that. But still looks interesting. A little bit different. Some rumors about media. We've got Michael Bay will return to direct a new Transformers movie. So it's like last week they're like, oh, we're not talking about making any more Transformers movies or any G.I. Joe movies or any of that kind of stuff. Now it's like, oh, guess what? We're making a Transformer movie. And it's going to have Michael Bay in it. It's like, okay, well, that's a whole lot of fun. Then they say there's another rumor that Josh Cooley to direct live-action Transformers film, plus 5 projects in development. And so it'll be interesting to see how this ramps up. I do know that most people seem to really like the CGI. And so that's where we lead into another rumor, which might be more popular. Then again, it might not. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I think I would at least give everything Transformers a shot. But there's talk now of Skybound Energon Universe Transformers and G.I. Joe cartoon series coming to a streaming platform. It's going to stream is what they're talking about. Very interesting concept with that. And I do know people liked the CGI and would have liked to see more of the CGI and less of humans. And this would be, well, basically animated. So curious how all this pans out. And sure, there'll be a whole lot more updates in the future. We got an update from the Transformers Cyber World, Cyber Changers. This is Chop Shop. And of all these other ones that they're showing, I'm just most interested in possibly even picking this up just because of the fact that these deluxe Insecticons are coming. You can complete your shelf and add a little more to it, a little more variety to it. Can you have too many Insecticons? I don't know. I don't know about the whole gizmo on his back, though. But you got to make kid play features fun, right? Alright, so there's a lot of other news that's not Transformers news, and I will admit Transformers is a bit light this week, but there's still more Transformers news than any other genre. And looking at this, so we've got the Shirella pre-order. It went up, and she's still there, just like the last 7 exclusives on Mattel Creations. And with that, I can still just wait and add her and get her when I get, the other 4 I'm missing. I am curious about the Fright Zone, though. The Fright Zone does look like it's going to be pretty good. I think they've done a great job with the box art, a great job with the playset, and they've made a nice update to the original. So you would never confuse this for the vintage one. The vintage one still has its charm, or lack thereof, and if you've got the puppet, well, then you're not going to be able to get a new puppet. So the old puppet is still going to be in high demand because they're not making a new puppet. They're making a whole monster and all that. Price on this set, $92. And I've had people saying they felt like it's too much. Well, you got to think about the other 2 were $75, $80, around that price range. And they're like, oh, this is so much smaller, so much less. But I was actually shocked a couple years ago when a buddy of mine showed me this. This is a picture. On the left is Snake Mountain, the box to Snake Mountain vintage. And on the right is the Fright Zone, vintage Fright Zone. And as you can see, they're around the same size. They're shaped different, but they take up the same amount of mass with the box. And maybe there's a lot of wasted space in that old Fright Zone box there. But it's like this is as serious of a retail presence as those other 2. And with all the other crazy nonsense that's happened in the world, it's gone up a little bit in price. But you'll still be able to get the Fright Zone at BBTS and other places later. It's not just going to be a Mattel exclusive. One more Motu point is Mondo is teasing their 1/6 scale Mondo, and this is going to be their Manny faces. Mando-y faces? No, Manny faces. And this is the teaser. They're just showing the little teaser for now, and you'll see the rest later. I'm sure it'll look fantastic, magnificent, but I don't mess with the 12-inch unless it's Masterpiece Transformers. We got King of Fighters 98 Storm Arena, Kaio, Goro, and Minjimaru. I am not familiar with these characters, but I do think they look pretty cool, and I do want to say that I like Storm Arena, the concept of them giving reasonably priced figures that are... I haven't got my hands on them, but what I see, they still use a lot of the same tactics, materials, same things that they did with Storm Collectibles. So instead of $110 price point, $30, $37, not bad. All right, so there's something Cowboy Bebop, Mondo Spike Spiegel figure. Nothing to do with... So Mondo has posted the product page for their upcoming Cowboy Bebop Spike Spiegel limited edition, 1/8 scale, stands 10 inches tall, $155 with 1,000 pieces offered for this variant. So if you're into all this stuff, it's pretty cool, pretty interesting, and they're kind of going the route that they were going with their Ghostbusters, where this is the exclusive. You get some exclusive stuff, but I do believe you get standard figure elsewhere. Also, talk about pop music. No, talk about some M.A.S.K. This, I've already made a video on this. Now we got high-res images in the box, and so if you want to watch all my other thoughts about this, you can go see it in that other video. But here we go with the high-res images of the SDCC exclusive, including Scott and T-Bob. And I will say this. I have not seen anywhere that it's officially $175 for the price. But that's what everybody seems to think it is. And it's like, man, that's a lot. Just to add a Scott and T-Bob and a little bit of vac metal or silvery paint. That's a little on the crazy side for me. But anyhow, let's have a look at the back of this. Now, I wasn't sure if you get the smokestack attachments with the standard one, or is this just part of the SDCC exclusive? I don't know, because I know you get like a little blast effects with the standard, but I don't remember about the smokestack. Probably do. You probably do. They probably are. But anyhow, this set here has a Scott and T-Bob. I don't think that the T-Bob is all that great. The Scott's improved. The T-Bob's not. They've improved all the figures except T-Bob. And with that, I'll show something here in just a bit. But yeah, they're just going with the old standard vintage style transformation and everything. Simplistic, easy, but definitely not worth $75 for the SDCC exclusive. And still no word on if this is just going to be in a baggie or have a card back. Is it going to be carded in there somehow? Probably in a baggie, which will be very disappointing. Pre-orders go live on BBTS on the 1st for all of the 4 offerings, plus this SDCC exclusive. And I do believe that we will be able to get all of the first 4 offerings relatively easy. If BBTS sells out, other places are going to get the opportunity later on down the road. The SDCC exclusive, on the other hand, probably if it sells out, that's it. They're only going to make so many, and so they can charge whatever crazy price they want, because they're only going to make a few, or however many they make, 5,000, I don't know how many they're making. And with that, if that sells out, it's out. Problem is, you can't find out what's in the box, how it looks, how it's packaged. Is Scott and T-Bob in the package? Is this really chrome? You have to find all these real answers out till it arrives, and you have to pre-order it and hope that it's all good. Wait for someone to do a review. So, I mean, some of this stuff, you're just left hanging, and you might be like, I want my $175 back down the road. Ramen Toy, on the other hand, is keeping on trucking. Going to keep on trucking, making a true updated T-Bob. Now, this is in 1/18th scale, is the last update Ace gave me, that he felt he couldn't achieve everything that he wanted to do with this figure in the 1/24th scale. But a T-Bob, a little bit bigger T-Bob, is not a big deal to me. And with that, he looks good. Now, they may have gone back to the drawing board and made it 1/24th, but I still believe 1/18th. And it looks great. It looks fantastic. And this is exactly what I want out of T-Bob, something that's an updated, improved version. And yeah, it's going to look good. It's going to look really good. It's going to be way better than those 3D prints that we've seen floating around. Those look great. This will execute well, too. It'll do the transformation, perform well. Ramen Toy. It's not up for pre-order yet or anything, but they're still working on it. Alright, so the new Console Hero Sega Genesis cartridge dioramas are making their full retail debut at Video Game Convention. Too Many Games at the show. They're selling the first assortment. Each cart is modeled after classic Sega Genesis game and opens up to reveal a diorama based on the game. And they have Sega Genesis systems, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, 3, Street Fighter 2, and Altered Beast. All of them having just like little scenes in there. It's kind of interesting. I was kind of hoping this would open the door to, more figures. Maybe they actually have some articulation, but they're all just sort of static. They're just sort of PVC looking figures in there. Interesting concept. And yeah, you see the cartridges there. You see that they open up, and that's what they do. Here is the Genesis one, and pre-orders went up some time ago via Big Bad Toy Store. Individual carts are priced at $20 each, with the Genesis system at $50 if you're interested. Big Bad Toy Store is just the go-to for everything. It's really kind of hard to not order from them. Although we've already talked about this, I do want to do an update to talking about the Winston Zedmore Mondo again. It's dominating there. And this figure set with the Ghost is going to be $202, but if you want to get that Ghost, then you're going to have to pay up for the Sandman. And pre-orders straight from the Mondo site, and it's going to be until the 17th of July. I know a lot of people think it's July already with fireworks, but still June, 17th of July. Prior to that, you need to pre-order it prior to the 17th, so get it in by the 16th. I missed out on the last one, so I don't have whatever the last one was. And I still don't have the first one yet, which is a little disappointing. It's $202 disappointing. Mafex has revealed figures for general release of the T800 John Connor 2-pack, which will be $135. And yeah, this is probably going to look great. It's going to be awesome, I'm sure. Terminator 2 Judgment Day T1000, $96. And then Spider-Man Miles Morales, $74. Medicom Scarlet Spider, $96. Yeah, I don't know much about Spider-Man stuff. Homelander Blood Splatter version, $96. Homelander with blood splattered. And then Night Crusader Batman Black version, $96. Love the blood spatter Homelander. It should say spatter, not splatter. But whatever. It's Megaman Wave 3 by Jada Toys, 1/12 scale up for order, pre-order, all that kind of stuff at Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and other places. But here's what I got to say about these. Anybody that collects the Megaman stuff, and they all say the same thing. These are 1/12, by the way. They're not any other scale. That we get Mega Man, we get a couple of characters, but they don't go very deep. Jada is going deeper and deeper to at least get all these main baddies that you're supposed to get. And collectors love it. I'm not in on it at all, but I think they look really good. And it's one of those things. Like, if I was in on it, I'd be super stoked for this. And if you're in on it, don't waste any time. Make sure you get them. Oh, and who is it? It's Woodman, Bubbleman, new version of Megatron. Or Megatron, Megaman. Megatron, Megaman. Pre-orders went up for SDCC exclusive loyal subjects. And I understand some of this stuff's already sold out. I was interested in the My Pet Monster. It was $50. I was going to buy it because I thought it was going to be the same size as the original. And here's where I'm at with that. I said it's 14 inches. I don't see how that's any bigger than the one they're putting out. I guess the one they're putting out is only 11. I'm not sure on that. I got to follow up on all this stuff. But here's the thing. It's still not big enough to be the size of the vintage one. Why is it not the size of the vintage one? I think it looks great. It's exciting. But the lower the price point and a little bit smaller, I'd collect all of them. All the My Pet Monsters. Just for fun, nostalgia. I don't need them to be the full size. So I don't need to pay up for a few inches bigger, and even though it's not the full size. And for the rest of them, they don't really interest me. But it is Jim 12-inch line getting a Jerrica and Synergy 2-pack, the My Pet Monster, and then My Buddy, Rainbow Bright, Teletubbies, Strawberry Shortcake, and then, of course, we already saw the M.A.S.K. We've got these Ben Cooper 6-inch scale NECA. Is it NECA that's making them? I believe NECA's making them. And they look good. If you're into this stuff, enjoy them. I have to say this, though. Out of all of them, I think the Pee-wee Herman one is the best looking one. That would have been a lot of fun to have that one back in the day. I always got I think I remember having a Yoda, and I had a picture of Yoda on the front and a Yoda helmet. You know, a Yoda face mask with a rubber string that snapped my neck. But if you have fond memories of these, enjoy them. The funny thing is nowadays my kids get these almost perfect, realistic kind of muscle suit ones, and then the masks, the helmets are almost perfect, and yet they never want to wear the helmet. They just want to run around trick-or-treating with no helmet on. It's like, you got to be in costume. You got to be in your role. You can't be out of your character. Got to get Tough Yo Joe. G.I. Joe June has been a waste. It's not been great. But you know what? I'm not mad at all. I'm not upset at all. I'm trying to wean off the classified and slow it down. And I will probably need to make a video about that. Nothing against classified. I love it. I just don't want to buy a lot of it. I don't want it to be hitting too hard. But we're going to get a HasLab. It's going to be the Snowcat. I said I'm not doing any HasLabs. I've already seen pictures of sections of it. It's very classic for what I saw. I mean, there might be some elements that are like super futuristic and stuff, but the parts I saw, very classic, and it's going to get me. It's going to get me. But here is my prediction that they will announce a retro snow job. Duh, right? That's like, duh. Why haven't they done that yet? And $25 instead of the $35, or 120, whatever people are paying for it on eBay. It's gotten ridiculous, but yeah, snow job. Snow job's my guess here, along with the Snowcat, along with more Snow Joes. I mean, why not? Why wouldn't they? And yeah, and then we're gonna get a cop figure, right? We're gonna get Long Arm, or Valiverse is gonna make it. Anyway, the poll stream on the 30th. I mean, you can see it right there, but to reiterate, the 30th. It's still June, guys. We've got these SDCC. Is it SDCC? We got these exclusives here, and you can get them at BBTS or Entertainment Earth right now. Except, of course, the oldest one, the whatever that last one was, the first one was, is sold out. So the other two, so you can get like a Kin, you can get a Chun-Li, but I guess Dark Ryu is what they call that one, is sold out. I believe they call that. Evil Ryu Deluxe is sold out. And Chun-Li's 55, and then the Kin is 60. I'm not in on this. This is how I realized how deep I'm going to go into Street Fighter. I have these characters. I don't need them with the Deluxe and all this other stuff. I don't need all that. And I'm perfectly happy with my little collection that I got going on. I don't need to go super deep, but some people do. Some people do. Just so I can put TMNT in the title, and I can open it up to 2.7 million possible viewers. Just kidding. This Turtle Blimp's still up for sale at Entertainment Earth, but it's $43. I actually got my hands on one of these. I do not like it because of the fact that it is not the same as the vintage. And so my story is, it's great. It's going to hold air. But I went and got a vintage one because I like the vintage one that much more. It's one of the few turtle things I really love. There's like 3 vehicles I like the most, and this is one of them. So it actually, this itself made me go get a vintage one. But a lot of people love this because this is going to hold air better than my vintage one. And this McFarlane Batmobile from Batman and Robin, $70. On Amazon right now. I'm looking at it on Amazon right now. $70, and if you're in on it, this is another one that I avoided, but it lights up. It looks cool. It looks cool. I have some level of completion of the vintage one, and I never really liked the vintage one very much. In all reality, I didn't even like the 66 Batman version for a long time. I finally warmed up to it, but 89, man, that's my favorite Batmobile. And I'm starting to like the animated series one a little bit more. All right, so yakface. So yakface.com is my favorite place to get Star Wars news. There's a couple other places offsets it and then looks at it from a different angle, but they're like on it these days the most. And this is something that reissue at Entertainment Earth that we're going to be getting a Ahsoka Tano Padawan and Sergeant Creel, neither of which interest me, but some people might like it. And I was just discussing with my kids that are actually growing up, and they talk about toys again with Dad, and they do kind of feel like the reissues kind of kill the excitement for collecting because of the fact that you work so hard to track it down, and then now it's going to be easy to get, or probably on clearance, or probably stacking up at Ollie's. Who knows? This is probably the most intriguing thing I have seen this week, and I need more information than what the site gives me, but we're seeing a Hallmark SDCC Jawa, and it's the vinyl cape Jawa, but it's not just a picture. It looks like it's an actual figure inside there. I don't know. This is really interesting. Like, this is something next level. I'd like more information. I'd like to know the size and scale of this, because if it's an ornament, then there's no way it's 6x9. But this might be the first ornament I buy. A couple of few, just for fun. I do have some really interesting ornaments that we put out every year, and some of them Star Wars, some of this. But this right here is very interesting. Need more information, but it looks really cool. And the bubble looks like it's made of actual, like, plastic. Very interesting idea. Like, almost acrylic. You know what I mean? Oh, it's $30 though. I don't know if I'd be super excited to buy more than one of them at $30. And Coca-Cola is crossing over with Star Wars for a Refresh Your Galaxy campaign, where original taste is Lando, Obi-Wan, Padme, Kylo Ren, Ahsoka, Darth Maul, K2SO, Boba Fett, Poe, Dameron, all that stuff. Zero Sugar is going to be Vader and some other characters, Chewbacca, C-3PO. Only available at Walt Disney Resort and Disneyland Resort. Interesting stuff. Now, I did get some Star Wars sodas, and over the years, one of them popped right in the whole 12-pack. And there it goes. But it's perfect that it's Coke, because I would not be tempted ever to open it and drink it. And one of my other favorite Star Wars sites, the Jedi Temple Archive, finally they chimed in, I guess it was Thomas there, about the cancellation of the Rey movie, and basically saying that it's really not Rey's fault, but she's going to lose a huge payday because they canceled the Rey movie, and that everybody is cheering for Kathleen Kennedy to kind of go through with this whole quitting, or at least leaving her position. But we'll see. It was a fun read, but yeah, no Rey movie, and nobody at all is upset. So that's all I got for this week's weekly news and review. This is Ramen Toy, and they're putting out their Ramen Racer in orange, the orange Ramen Racer. If you're interested, I don't know if they're putting up orders for that again, but let me know what you think about this week's weekly news review. What else went on out there that I missed? Because I like to say no, like, subscribe, and Tight Ear Hanger out.